want to see if the hype is real. Yes, 20.
They're dope, but they don't have enough catalog. They need more hits.
They have that what Muchemwa.
Yeah, it's played out.
And Run. Maybe those.
The thing that's killing hip hop right now, right? And I keep saying this to people.
There are no bangers.
We don't have hits.
Oh, no.
And for as long as you don't have hits, because think about it, piano guys are dropping 5 to 8 bangers a week.
Every day.
Maybe Moita more release singles a year, and you want to compete. What has KO given us and said? That freestyle from yesterday.
No punishment chine.
Achina wenda anyway.
I know, I'm just saying after set akabuza kacheche chine video imwe makala zo makala
I'm still muchiridza paredi.
Achiridzike.
We don't have hits. We don't have hits, but we can't compete when guys are not making music.
But it's got hits in the essay, huh?
It's not even hits in essay. Bro, do you know a hit song now is like an Instagram post? That's what a hit is. So you can't be reposting the same photo every... No, we're tired. We want to see the new thing.
Wait, so you want the hip hop track to drop out of it? Like a proper banger hit?
We need at least 3 or 4 a month.
From the same person?
No, not from the same
okay.
person. Yeah, I think... No, actually, we need 3 or 4 from one person, actually.
Over what type of time period?
Maybe 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Because we have to flood the market.
No, that's fine.
Because Kabza is putting out even what's his name, Kevin Momo. Kevin Momo's got 28 tracks.
That album is
now
fire.
DJ Snake is in his DMs.
And
Drake is in his DMs.
And Kabza dropped that thing with Questa.
Where did that thing go?
I have no idea.
You see now. Bro, we're fighting a losing battle, bro.
But also Questa is not doing much. No,
who's going to save us?
Blahtee.
He's doing it, but he can't carry the whole industry by himself.
Flame, Nasty Seed.
Okay, Flame, same. With Flame, with the project that we dropped, we've only got 2 singles. We only released the first video yesterday.
For which song?
For Let Me Down.
That's the first single.
That's the first single.
That one's nice. I like that.
And then the next one is I forgot what the next one is. But that's what I'm saying. Even for Flame alone, he's not dropping consistently.
But those Pretoria boys seem to be doing something.
Which Anana Aries.
Reese and his team. Jimmy and his brother.
Yeah, Aries is doing a great job. But Aries also has got a cult following.
Yes.
So he knows that the music is... And it's just like what Blackie's done now.
And a cult.
Blackie? Yeah, it's crazy.
And then those other Pretoria boys, what's the name? And a P. Blake.
Christina.
And a Blake.
Chembe.
But didn't they put out a project just now?
Where is it?
And then that show that they did December with the live band and stuff.
Nothing, bro. Think about it. There's nothing.
So they're just doing for the old head.
But that's what I'm saying, that for me, as someone who's in the industry now, I've had to transition into a business role because I can't even keep up with the new music. My taste palette has changed. So these kids who come in my mambo on a song or whatever.
Do 2 minutes of...
You see what I mean? TikTok songs. How long did it take us to produce albums?
They're not doing... Listen, here's the thing. When it comes to hip-hop, I don't know if people are doing proper albums, like really, they're just putting a playlist and they call it an album.
But that's the thing. So if we're going to do playlists, let's do playlists very often. Because the piano guys, probably Cooper will release an album. She'll do that what's it called? PSA? Pretoria Super whatever, with Foka and Chico. Mm-hmm. And then she'll do other songs with other guys. So this is the philosophy, right? Mm. If someone releases, let's say maybe... I'll give you an example of Drake. Drake gave us the dance album.
Yeah.
He gave us the one with 21 Savage.
Didn't like that.
And there may be about 15 features.
Of course.
So on the playlists right now.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
On every playlist.
And then you want to come with the 1 single a year.
Yeah. 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 No,
so the genre that releases the most is going to win.
Of course.
That's the game right now. But they need to be smart about the way they release.
Because listen, we don't have, what do you call those things? Rollouts.
We don't have rollouts anymore. But that's what I'm saying, that right now...
Wait, what do you mean anymore? When did you ever have rollouts?
No, we don't. I guess so.
Which rollout do you remember that you say that one?
The last rollout.
Yeah, that you say that one was.
Touch My Blood.
Oh, okay. That's historic.
Yes,
That's up
they were
there.
billboards.
That's up
But
there.
that's what I'm saying. Since there, obviously, AKA has gone through a tragic moment. Things happened. You know what I'm saying? He had to find himself. And even now with Mass Country, you can tell that he's in a position.
You can tell it's coming.
Yes, but he's gone back to the music.
It's always.
He's doing camps. He's getting even the guys that he's working with now. He's not working with these old guys anymore. It's these new guys.
There's no trees on that.
No trees on that album.
Is he still producing?
Yes, but who's he produced for lately? It's like since Ambitious died.
He was quick.
Java.
Wait, this Java album is nice.
Yes. So the only people who survived was Java. MT, yes, he's also kind of like had to come back. Aries, definitely. Right?
You never died.
Flame, it took him 3 years.
To come back. South Africa, Zim. Who can cross over into South African market? Hip hop, why?
From Zim.
Yeah.
So,
Musically, because anyone can go to SA. But who's going to go there with his music and can survive?
okay, who are your top 5 hip hop artists in Zim?
Sure.
Just your top 5, and then I'll
Mine?
Yes,
Mine, I'll have Denim.
definitely.
I'll have Obi. I like K
Have
Breeze.
you already started shooting
Yeah.
this? Oh, what? Cool.
I like
Let's go. I was just giving you like back end information right now that like no one knows about.
No,
That's fine.
but okay,
Let's
breezy.
go. Okay, so top 5.
Denim, Obi, K Breezy. Hey, someone just popping up. ASAP. ASAP. And then the 5th one, he doesn't want to call himself a hip hop artist, but I'm going to force it upon him and just say his name, Takura.
So I believe Takura right now is 1 hit away from being a global star.
Okay.
1 hit.
Which is, we just need one.
Yeah, he's 1 hit away from being a global star. But the question is, does he want it?
See, that's the question with so many hip hop artists that we have in the country. Do they really want this thing, or is it just vibes?
And I guess that's a question that they can only answer, because for as long as we're not having serious and tough conversations about it, our industry is not going to grow.
Listen, I think we're at a point whereby we're producing too many kids, yeah?
Yeah.
But these kids have no templates to work with locally. And they're also lazy to study what's going on outside. Because if you, let me just use anyone, a person like Sun, for interest's sake. And then you say, okay, how did Aries build his cult following, whereby Aries can cough and then the whole of Pretoria is screaming?
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's the advantage that they have, because they actually have a following that we don't understand, right? The first thing being, these guys stay on their phones.
Of course.
If you look at their screen time hours, these
It's
kids are
ridiculous.
doing 12 to 18 hours a day on their phone.
We own them like 4 or 5 hours.
Exactly, right? So the stuff that they've been exposed to now is too much. There's no one who's regulating. Whereas before, we had radio. So we could program 40 songs, right, per cycle, to say these are the top 40 songs that are being played. Obviously, now the guys are able to kind of like push a little bit more. But now with TikTok, right, you have to use, that's why I said that TikTok, you have to use it as a discovery platform. The more music you put on TikTok and you see what people like, then you can now come back and say, okay, guys, we look like we've got something here. So let's actually now put money into this thing and grow it. You understand? But I guess there are a lot of other factors that we need to look at. Data is expensive, right? Streaming alone in Africa is not like a real thing, right? And number 3, these guys are not creating their own platforms where it doesn't matter if you've got 80 to 100 people in a venue. Try and do it every 3 months. Get other guys, other artists, collaborate. Say, guys, we're meeting up at this place. You meet this person, this person, this person. Even if it means that we're doing free shows. All they have to do is look for sound. They have to look for lighting. They have to look for proper engineers. And obviously refreshments and stuff, and then ticketing to make sure that it's safe. But for as long as these kids don't have any safe environment, where they're going to consume their music?
But see, the thing is, also these kids don't want to. It's like they're painting a picture that they don't want to be out there, but they want to be out there. I'll give you an example. Just this week, received a song from Sun.
Yeah.
No one. listen to it, like, all right, cool. But then I sat back and be like, okay, the song is out. It's out. But there was nothing prior.
You see, and so so for someone like Sun, right, I think it's now an issue of understanding what kind of artist he is, right? And I think, because if you've noticed a lot of Sun's videos, you don't actually see his face. So he's actually a mysterious person by personality. You get it? So he knows that, okay, he's built up a little bit of a fan base, right? He releases music, he takes it to YouTube, and that's where they consume it. So he's not looking at it from a playlisting perspective or even from a radio perspective, because for them, that's not a culture they grew up with.
But see, the thing is now, they'll then turn around and look at me and be like, bro,
you're not playing the
you're
records.
not playing my joints.
I guess that's...
And I'm like, what joint?
Yeah, I guess now it's also an issue of...
Because my thing is balance both. You know you have what your generation can do or are doing, and they're big on it, but also you need to feed the other side. Because as much as some would say, the older generation don't understand us, but when it's good music, it's good music. You cannot deny that.
That is correct,
So,
and I agree with you.
So if you have this new joint, yes, feed your online people however you feed them, but the traditional people also feed them, because listen, when you go and do your 7 arts, it's not only these online people who are going to come, because there are people in your generation that are not online like that, who are not privileged enough to be.
But that's now understanding markets. Yes. Because for that generation alone, they don't listen to radio. You get it? So for them, they're not also kind of like getting a platform where I guess the radio guys or the people in these traditional platforms are also kind of like encouraging them on some, okay, guys, there's actually a market for this. I think they've just channeled out and just told themselves that radio is not for us. You get it? They're not trying to even make radio-friendly music. They don't know what that concept is. Back in the day when you did an album, you knew that you've got your 3 radio tracks, you've got your 3 dance tracks, you've got your 3 slow tracks, and you can basically create an album that you can do that you can listen to whether you're doing the dishes, whether you're driving, whether you're getting ready to go out. You know what I'm saying? Or you're simply just working. So I guess now that's where the issue of teams then comes in. Because a lot of these guys, unfortunately now, they are working a lot in their bedrooms and they're in isolation. So if someone like Beyonce has got 27 writers on one song, and you alone are in your bedroom creating a whole project, you know what I'm saying? It becomes very difficult. So it's kind of like, how do we now create a platform to kind of like close the gap?
So the teams, because I'm big on these teams, because there are people who say, hey, you people, you don't give us some insights, you don't teach us, you don't do this. And then you're like, okay, listen, do you have a team? Because whether you are a TikTok artist, a YouTube artist, an Instagram artist, your fellow artists in that they have people behind them.
Yes, that's correct.
Who understand, yo, listen, for us to pop off, we're going to do this.
So the same rate we're channeling and pushing out artists, do we also have the same when it comes to guys who are passionate about the business?
See, I honestly don't think we have.
Yeah, and the reason people feel like that is because, number one, it's not attractive. Number two, they haven't actually seen the money. It's now actually a money issue. Like, okay, do people understand that if I'm to work with an artist, these are the revenue streams that we can actually get money from? Number one. Number two, is this something that I'm willing to do? Because if you have 8 to 10 artists per one manager, already the equation is off.
No, but do we have managers?
We don't have managers.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Because, if you have, like, proper managers, I've seen managers in SA. I've seen managers who everyone says a person like Pori is a difficult artist. But I've seen his manager, and she makes sure.
Yes.
Could listen, you want him at 2.
I'll make sure he's there too, even if it means I'm gonna go and pick him up and wait for him to get ready.
The schedules, the scheduling and everything to make sure that this guy is there at 2 are in place.
Yes.
My thing now is, do we have people who have invested in themselves and saying, me, I'm going to become a manager? Or they're just tuning, oh, well, I couldn't be a rapper, let me be a manager.
That's the thing, where we've got, and the other issue we have is that we've got a lot of failed artists who are now becoming managers. So in their own attempt to either becoming an artist or whatever, right, there's certain steps they skipped that they're not also willing to sit down and revisit and say, okay, when I was trying this, exactly, what did I do wrong, right? It's like the example of a hit record. If a manager doesn't understand what a hit record is, they'll never be able to produce a hit record for their artist.
So
what does it take to get a hit record? That's now making sure that the song is plugged, number one. So who's actually willing to sit down and say, okay, this is the metadata form. I'm going to put in this guy's real name. I'm going to put in his artist name. I'm going to put in the ISRC code. I'm going to list down all the authors.
Do they even know what?
That's the thing. So there's a lot of building and education that needs to happen around that.
Let's get into that. I'm your artist.
Yeah.
My song, Resource, is dropping. We say April 2.
So we've already made a mistake because your song is dropping and I wasn't involved.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Now you've come into the picture.
Yes.
And then I've told you, yo, listen, Resource, I got it ready for April 2.
That's not happening.
What take us through.
So is this me as Blah now?
Now you are in the mode.
Manager
you
mode.
are in manager mode.
So I now need to switch hats.
Now you need to be like, yo, P, listen, 2 April is not going to happen.
Okay. So the first thing that we need to establish, right? I've got a saying that I always say. The best neighbors come from the ones with the biggest fences. You need to set boundaries.
Okay.
Right? The best neighbors come from the guys with the biggest fences. If your house has got a big fence, no one is trying to peep what's happening in your house. Right? No one is trying to see your daughter doing whatever. Right? So we set boundaries. This is my house, this is your house. This is my role, this is your role. Right? I'm here to make sure that you monetize and you make a career out of this. Music now is not as extravagant as it was back in the day. And the example I'll give you, right? It's like even the development of money in the world sense. Money came, the concept of money, people were mining. They would go mine Zaraban and get gold, right? And in that process, they would go there, dig up, get the whatever, they find the rocks, clean them up, you know what I'm saying, to a point where it was now then processed, melted, turned into jewelry, whatever, then it now goes to the store. Let's understand that process. So, what are we doing to get the gold? We have to mine. How do we now get you the best gold to market? This is the producer you're going to be working with. These are the songwriters that you're going to be working with. This is how we're setting up your team, right? Before we even start talking about the music, let's understand what kind of artist you are. Because now it's also kind of like transformed into different phases. I think you've noticed guys are now selling their catalogs and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me to be producing albums and albums and albums, if there's no market right now, it's kind of like redundant.
I heard Pori sold something. A piece of his catalog or something, but
I'm not sure about that, but we'll get back to that. So back to the process. We need to understand that there's a process. Your manager gets involved, right? Artist needs to eat, manager needs to eat,
of course,
right? So how much time are we given this thing to actually say that, okay, dude, we're going to dedicate ourselves for the next year. And in that year, these are the sacrifices that we're willing to make. Because in me dedicating myself to you 24/7, means that I'm not making money somewhere else. Right? You also are not making money because your job right now is to get the best art you can possibly produce.
that we can put.
But that is not going to happen with you by yourself. You get it? We have to collaborate, right? So that's the first thing. We're going to sit down, we're going to discuss the process. After that, the next step is, okay, what kind of project are we making? Do you have a market already? Are we trying to create a market? Or are we trying to steal someone's market? That's a real conversation, right? Because I can come to you and be like, okay, let's collaborate with so-and-so, let's collaborate with so-and-so. It could be because you've got a great friendship and you genuinely like each other's art, right? That's why now the concept of like paid collaborations and stuff is now a big thing because guys have realized the value that they have in the markets they've created.
Of course.
So I can't expect you to just piggyback off someone who's now got 200,000 Spotify listeners
Just
around.
in jail.
You've got 120. Like we need to meet each other
Halfway.
at certain levels,
Yeah.
right? So now that we've established that, okay, this is the market that you want to get into. What does that market look like? Right? Does it consume radio? Does it consume digitally? Do they go out? Do they have buying power? Or you want to actually go to the high schools, start there and then grow with them, which is what a lot of artists who've been successful have done, right? So in that process alone, if you don't understand it as an artist, then what are we going to do? What do you expect of me as a manager? And that's also a question that needs to be asked, that, okay, you say you want a manager. According to you, what does a manager do? And if you can't answer that question, then
why do you need me?
Why do you need me? You get it? So that's the first process. April 2nd is not happening.
You can never speak.
Yeah, it's not happening, right? And this is like, I'm talking like development, like grassroots level. Then obviously you've got your guys who kind of like built a bit of a following, but they now want to like scale, right? And the example that I always use, whether it comes to like sport or whatever, right? Tennis, F1, it's a ranking situation.
Most industries.
So it's you understanding that, number one, there's the Davis Cup that's coming. There are only 150 players that can play the Davis Cup. But there are qualifying rounds that need to happen. Then when you get to this 150, it's a knockout stage. You play one game, whether it's an off day or whatever, you're out. You're on the next play. There's no, you're on the next play.
There's no second leg, boss.
Exactly. So what are we doing to develop and make sure that you are in a good condition to now get to the Davis Cup for those 2 weeks and play 20, 25 games back to back for you to then get to the top and be actually physically conditioned to win it? It's not just the music anymore. That's now the team. You get it? So these tennis players have got fitness conditioners. They've got guys who work on the different swings. And this is now the team I'm talking about. The producers, the songwriters, this. Because you can't do all of that stuff by yourself, right?
You need people.
Exactly. So it's now us now looking at your strengths and weaknesses. What are you actually good at? Are you good as a live performer? Because if you're good as a live performer, that means that we need to make music that suits that audience. Are you good as a radio artist? Do you make music that makes people want to like listen to radio? Do people get excited when they listen to your music on radio? Right? Or are you a 2-minute artist? You make nice TikTok songs, right?
Yeah.
You know that you've got your 10, 15 minutes of fame, and then you have to keep on
Churning them out.
feeding them. Until now you create something that's tangible, where people have now bought into you, right? And once they've bought into you now, they're also willing to kind of like spend their money. Because we can talk honestly, like there are certain artists that we are only going to pay 250 Rand for to watch.
Some we can do.
Some, we're not even going to go. It's not worth it, right? Because the 250 Rand a ticket is me saying I'm coming to watch this person. I still need to get there. I need transport.
Yeah.
I still need to eat while I'm there.
Drink.
I still need to drink, right? If I'm coming with my girlfriend or my wife, that's another 250.
Yep.
Right? So at the end of the day, you realize that the basic consumer is not just spending 250 Rand in a ticket. They're spending close to 1,000, 1,500.
So you gotta put a show.
And we're living in an economy right now that's tough. Music is a luxury. So in order for that to happen, like have you looked at all of these things? And that's where now like artists need to start kind of like spending more time trying to understand how the business has shifted. Because these guys back in the day, when they told them that we've now got this new thing called streaming, they tried to fight them and be like, no, this is a CD. We're going to produce 1 million of them.
We need to sell 1 million copies. Now,
how many cars come with CD players? Do you even have a CD player in your house?
No.
You see what I mean? So exactly. So it's changed in that regard. How are we adjusting to that change?
I don't know.
We can't keep looking at the same model and trying to, it's just not working. And this is now where like back to the managers, back to the business guys, back to the artist developers and stuff like that. All of these guys have to count the cost of what it takes. Because if everyone then says, bet, we're going to do it, we're going to invest, or we're going to go and look for money to make sure that someone invests in your music, it's a business. If I give you $2,000 to push your music, at some point it needs to come back.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the other thing we've struggled with, where the people who actually had money invested into people and they didn't get any results. So for them, they just look at it now as a business that's not profitable.
That's failing.
You know what I'm saying? And now, what are the channels of how people are consuming music? If you look at the way the Nigerians have done it, bro, Nigeria has got like the second largest population, or if not the biggest population in Africa. But a lot of their artists now are being consumed worldwide because they had to go there.
And going there is a good thing.
Yes.
Especially if the product is attractive.
Exactly.
Especially if the product can cross over into.
Exactly.
So my thing also now is, do we here in Zimbabwe, how many hip-hop acts can we export? And then someone who can go tomorrow, Saturday, Cotton Fest, and be on that stage, and then rock that stage, that everyone who's there will be like, that guy's
back
dope.
to the hits.
No, but I'm saying,
who do we have right now? I don't know. I honestly don't know. And that's the thing where, like, there are guys who I know have got great music, right? But locally, like, as well, are guys coming here for interviews. So how are you connecting with the market for you to now end up on that stage?
See, that's the thing what I was asking, whereby when you said, I'm going to use Sun as an example because he just dropped.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, wait, he's got a new song? There was no build up to this particular song. And then also, when you are about to drop a song and you know where the channel where it probably fits in, have you reached out to those particular places, blogs, whatever, who cover what you do? And 90% of the people that I also reached out to go, wait, do you have information on
what's
this?
happening? Yeah.
They were like, nah, I don't read. The last thing I know of him was the album.
Like, which dropped?
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the self-titled album, Son. Yeah.
And I was like, but what about this single? I was like, what single? I'm like, oh, there's a single that dropped today. I'm like, oh, okay. So I end up just tuning, okay. And I'll tell you this, you know how it is, it's easier for me in Zimbabwe to interview someone who's outside of Zimbabwe.
Then it is
someone.
Yeah, I know. I just got off the plane, man, and I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
The person was supposed to be here before you didn't pay.
That's crazy. That is actually crazy.
But the thing is, we, as much as you're a TikTok artist or whatever, you know, you're going to want to perform somewhere someday.
And that's the thing where I think it's now about how we can. And I love the fact that you're using Sun. Sun is someone I like musically. I love him. I think as a personality as well. He's been very, for me, he reminds me a lot of The Dream. Right? I don't know if you remember when The Dream came out. Like no one really knew like,
what he is,
who he is.
But we knew his hits.
But we knew his hits. And I think now even the direction that Sun has taken, that he's actually dropped a single from the project with the video.
That's good.
You get it? That's a first step. Let's now see how it performs.
Yeah,
right.
Because we are in February.
We are in February, and the song dropped about 2-3 days ago.
Tuesday.
Yeah. So the first single has dropped. The project is out, right? I think that's the first step, and I think now it's about kind of like assessing the next steps that are going to be taken. Because once we actually assess the steps that are being taken, then we're able to say, okay, either there was a plan or there was no plan. But right now, just the fact that he was able to drop a single leading up to the project, right? And then he dropped the project, and now he's doing the single rollouts. I think for me, that is kind of like
a good start.
A good start, right? Considering also that Sun is, how old is Sun? Sun is,
no idea.
Yeah,
like 19, 20.
That's the thing. He's not even like over 23. I don't think
it's 23. It's definitely.
But that's what I'm saying. For what he's done, and even in the fact that, remember, Sun rebranded as well. Yeah, and that rebrand was so smooth. Like for me, I was just like, okay, I actually see now the direction that he's going, and even the music. The way the palette has changed, because now you can see that he's going for this electro dance market, which no one else is doing, right? There are fans that are out there that are actually consuming it. So maybe for us as well, it's going to take time to catch on to it, right? But there's something that's there already that's kind of like, okay, with the way he's actually done this album, like it's not your typical rap album. You know what I'm saying? Even this feature that he just did with this girl called Yamikani. You know what I'm saying? She's probably like a new artist.
She's not really. Not really. She's nice though.
Yeah, but for her to come out like that,
she good.
You know?
She good.
Yeah, so I definitely believe that with Sun in particular, the stuff that I'm looking forward to with this rollout, you know what I'm saying? And I honestly think he's gonna have a good year.
Hopefully so.
If he keeps up at this, and the fact that he dropped a video like this, like first week of February.
Yeah, first day of
February. That means that there was actually a plan behind for this to happen. Because December, January, people weren't really working.
We're partying, B. Your take on surprise albums?
It depends on the level of artist you are.
Okay. Holy Ten dropped an album from Norway.
I've not listened to one song, unfortunately.
No, as in, because for me, I'm like, there are few people in the world who can do that. Who can just come out and you just wake up and they say album. I'm like, what?
What are the hits on the album? Are there any single out hits? Are they videos?
Yeah, I think they said they're dropping a video for each song on the album.
Okay, and how often are those videos?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so with someone like Holy Ten, because obviously I'm in a different market, right? I'm not really like in touch like that. But a surprise album, when was the last time you had dropped before that?
Maybe 2021. Beginning April of 2023.
2023.
So it might be April of 2022.
Okay, was there a launch to the surprise album?
No, it was a surprise.
No, I'm saying even after it dropped.
No.
So, was there any show that was done?
No.
So the album dropped, videos are dropping. There's no other support in terms of how to touch the fan base.
No.
I don't know. That one is tricky. That one, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is or what it could possibly look like. I'm trying to like think of ways like the team or his team are thinking around it. But as me, I don't know.
Would you advise such a move?
Not at this stage. Yeah, not at this stage. I think with an artist like Holy Ten, and that's why I'm saying that unfortunately I haven't actually listened to the project.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, so I can't comment on the project like that. But I think in terms of like putting out singles, putting out videos, he's done very well. No, he's done well with the previous stuff. Yeah, because I think I also got to learn about him through the videos that he had dropped. Then I was like, okay, let's actually go back and listen to the music. So from a visual perspective, like I think he was able to grab me quickly. But in terms of like now, am I going to sit and wait till something comes? I don't think so, because yeah, like with albums, especially if you're not invested in an artist, it's very difficult. So maybe there's a particular group of people that are invested, and then it's going to like spread over time, and maybe like the duration of the album is going to last in 2 years. Right, and even in the 2 years, if they're going to be dropping a video for every single song, I guess maybe there's also a rollout.
I think they already have like 5 songs out, or 5 videos.
5 videos.
And this is within the first month, so maybe a video a week, on average.
That is wow. That is quite an investment, though. I must give him that.
But like what you were saying, it's a business.
Yes.
So it's an investment. Do we have a return? Because we haven't gone to a show. We haven't seen a show anyway, except for the one that was being featured by Winky D at his album launch.
That was the last week of December.
The 31st of December.
31st of December,
yeah.
Okay.
So outside of that, there hasn't been any show. I'm supposedly supposed to be in SA on tour sometime in March, I think.
In March, okay.
Yeah. So that's...
Yeah, I guess maybe then his focus is maybe winning more people on YouTube, and he's actually monetizing on YouTube. But like I said, that's probably an in-house conversation that they've had. But if it's gonna be a video, I guess, do you know how many views a video?
Nope.
Yeah.
Can you just leave off YouTube?
If you're doing 1 million plus views and you've got a lot of videos and people keep watching, you actually can. I know some guys who are making about $25,000 a year of just YouTube, and that's them outside of anyone else who's getting their commissions, taxes, levies, and stuff like that.
Because Aishan's single just hit 2 mil.
Yes.
Now, but it's been out for the better part of the 2022.
And this is from Real Bad album.
No, that song is just a single.
It's a single.
It's just a single.
Outside of the album,
outside
you
of
say.
So if it just hit 2 mil let's just say over the past at most 10 months, literally working it, and just reached 2 mil now.
And that means
So if you then give people 5 singles and 5 videos in 1 month,
it's very difficult, I must say. It's very difficult, especially in Zimbabwe, guys. Like, Africa alone, I'll always say, until we start getting proper data plans for us to consume music. You know what I'm saying? You know, they have to now listen to music they've either downloaded. Like, streaming is not an option because data is just expensive. So we also need these guys on the other side to meet us halfway. But that's the thing now. That's a conversation that needs to happen with the guys who are actually now in the business side of the industry. Because if data is expensive, right, people are always on the move. Right? It's very difficult to consume music like that. So I'd rather just put it on a USB. Or I'll just rather download it while I have Wi-Fi and then just play it off. And if I download it, that means that you're actually not catching those streams.
that's something that people don't know.
Yes.
Because the people on the business side, you are not educating the artist. Or you are, but the artist is ignorant.
And it's a combination of both.
Not educating and then also having
and then not
ignorant.
knowing.
Who's not knowing?
Both sides. Both sides. I think it's an issue of both sides because even with the managers right now, I think even if we say, okay, outside of hip-hop, right, in, let's say, Zimbabwe alone, who are the top 5 managers? Top 5 that you can look at. And out of that top, I will go with your list first, and then I'll Dubai, right? And the reason I'm asking this question is because the managers have now put themselves in positions where they're like, okay, even if there's no music, there's stuff that's still happening.
On the artist.
On the artists, you get it. So you let me know, like, who would you say are like the best 5?
Managers.
Not even best 5, but like your top 5 managers.
In Zim.
In Zim.
Wow.
Man, don't kill me like this.
Wow. I'm just...
Who've actually, okay, who are the top 5 artists that you can consistently say are actually getting money from music in Zim? From just a look and feel point of view, obviously we don't have the back end data, but from a look and feel to say that, okay, these guys,
Keen, the one who manages Praiser, I think I think he'll be there. I just have to mention my, what's his name, Banda for Winky D.
Yes, definitely.
Wow. I'll put the guy who's managing Tammy there.
Yes, and she's got a deal with Zimoko.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch on that, actually.
He's going to kill me. I just forgot his name. The guy who's managing Janet Manyo.
Yes.
Yeah, I really don't know his name. I've never met him.
Manyo.
Wait, the husband? Oh, for real? Yeah. Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else is out there? Yeah, let's just go with those 4.
4, okay, cool.
And the girl and the chick who's managing Freeman. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, out of the artists that you've mentioned, I'll give you mine. So I've got Jana Manyo, number 1, right? Jana Manyo has got billboards.
Oh, mine were not in order, by the way.
No, okay. I'll just put it out there. So someone like Jana Manyo, right? Jana Manyo last released an album when? But she's able to do shows how often?
She's got a catalog.
Exactly. Right.
Bang.
And the shows are top class.
I always didn't understand the hype around that lady.
Yeah.
Then I saw her perform, I think in September, October.
No.
I was like, you know what? I repent. I understand the hype.
That woman is a gift to this industry. Her whole team is a gift to this industry because the professionalism they have from the time they start producing their work. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a there's a whole team behind it. Another person I'll give is, I don't know if you know Everton Mlalazi and the Vine.
I know him.
Right? Everton was in Nigeria in December, and he did a show with Sinach. So they've entered into a different market. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, even if he sells $1 CD,
he's got
just in Lagos alone.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's already found a new market. He did a show in Joburg, in Sandton, on the 25th of September. 3,000 at the Sandton Convention Center.
And by the way, we're not talking of Zimbabwe. We're talking of people who have just come for the show.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you know...
It wasn't a Zimbabwean people's show. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. You know, some people go out there and then they are performing to Zimbabwe.
No. This one was like... Because even some of the people that he featured...
Another guy forgot the sixth one. The guy was managing XU. But anyway.
Yes, okay, we'll get back to that. So that's Janet Everton, right? The other person I'll give, guys, and you guys need to actually look at the work that she's doing. Gemma Griffin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. How much time does she actually spend in this country?
None.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's something that is happening there that needs to be studied.
Of course.
Because from the sound alone...
And that documentary she put out...
You see what I mean? So those are now other avenues that can be looked at. Like, okay, Gemma is an amazing performer, right? Number two, her sound. Like, she's created a sound for export, right? Some of the collaborations she's done, that collaboration with Winky was bananas.
Garden.
Yeah. Right? The fact that you're able to pair those two and create something like that is something that I myself wouldn't have thought of.
It comes with a very good age.
You see what I mean? That's now someone else who's in that team. Another person you mentioned was Tammy. I love the way Tammy has set up her brand and the way they're actually moving. Because now you can see that this person has been turned into a business.
Of course,
yeah.
Should be better.
And the business that she's in right now is no longer just music money.
You gotta get that corporate money.
Right? Definitely you look at someone like Winky, definitely is in there. Job Praise is in there. Who else? There's another name that I wanted to mention, but yeah, we'll stick and execute as well. Aishan as well. Yeah. I love the way they've set up Aishan because you can actually see like
exactly what they're trying to do
and
where they're going.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if it's, we're doing this, we're going to release this video, this is the plan. Like you can actually see with Aishan's rollouts. And
I understand they have a new something coming up. The video is being shot.
Yeah, so Aishan is definitely someone like Christian has done an amazing job with them. But now, outside of these guys, the question that I have for you now, who is 25 and below?
The artist?
Yes.
None.
So we can't...
Wait, isn't Tammy young?
Probably.
Yeah, probably right? Tammy.
But also now, the management she has, you know what I'm saying, it's got some sort of experience. Yeah. So, where are we teaching each other?
Where are we teaching, or where are we not teaching each other?
Yes. So, who's actually sitting down, right, as an upcoming manager with Muchemwa and saying, sir, how did you get this right?
There are no young managers. I've not met because you know the thing with this game is, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There's no advertisement for a job.
No, there's no.
It boils down on love, passion, and what can you do.
Yes, but that's the thing. It's not attractive at all.
Being a manager?
No,
it's attractive.
No, like I
mean, look, a young person who says, I want to be a manager, it's because there are no managers around to emulate.
Yes, that's the thing.
So the thing is, I didn't even know that my manager was manager.
Exactly.
So if I'm a young cat coming up, for me to hustle to get 5 minutes of his time, it's going to be very difficult.
That could be correct. But at the same time, I also believe that he's also in a position where he's had to learn some things. He's also willing to create a succession plan for the guys coming below.
See, the thing is, as a people, we are very much, we have knowledge, but we don't want to pass down the knowledge. And not that we don't want to. There's no one to pass it down to.
Yeah, because there's no pipeline.
So now, by the mere fact that we are busy scratching our heads looking for managers, there are a gang load of hip-hop owners who don't have managers. 90% of them don't have managers.
Then that's a problem in itself.
Yeah.
Because then if 90% of the game doesn't have managers, then is there actually a game?
There is no growth, because you want to reach a holy 10. You get 6 numbers.
That is crazy business.
You call this number, you get. By the time you get to number 6 and get to speak to him, you're like, yo man, listen, Jada. It's difficult to then say, okay, listen, Munya, let me highlight Munya so that he can show me the ropes. Because is he willing to? Or he might have tried to do it with someone, and then that light was just there for the lights.
And that's also going to be the challenge, because, and that's why I said that it all then comes back to development, right? So even like locally here, I'll give you an example of sport. We'll go back to sport. Maybe it's a lot easier to understand. As a player, right, you can start playing your Division 1, whatever, you end up at Dynamos. As a player, you don't want your career to end at Faro Stadium.
No.
You understand? So in that process alone, you now also have to kind of like start understanding, okay, what does it take for me to get to Kaizer Chiefs?
You need an agent.
You need an agent. Sometimes you might have to outsource. But if you're going to outsource, right, it's going to be expensive. Because then if someone is then coming back to you and saying, okay, here there's pure talent and I'm willing to invest, right? The manager is now bringing all of his or her resources
to you,
right? But at the same time, the manager also needs to be sure
that this is for
real. Because the other thing, like I've also noticed, is that you start working with people, right? And I know something happened. I don't like this guy anymore. He's no longer my manager. I guess also that's the reason why there's this thing of getting 6, 7 numbers, because the people all end up getting tired, like you said.
It's because also artists are a problem.
They are a problem, but that's the thing.
Because some are more invested in their scandals than the music.
Which is actually quite sad, because going back to that now, and I think I actually want to call out the media, because if the media keeps pushing these scandals and not actually creating channels to push music and the actual art, we're going to stay in this rut for a long time.
But it's also...
So it now goes back to, for them, what's selling the most, right? And the scandals are selling the most. Because there's actually no other thing that they're being given. If we were flooding these guys, this person is released, this person is released, this person is released, this person is released. At some point, they can't ignore us.
But they're also not releasing, like I'm going back to your original point,
exactly.
They're not releasing bangers. Pills dropped a 45-track album.
45?
45.
Is it like out?
It's out.
It wasn't a rumor?
No. 45.
At once?
At one go.
How many minutes?
You stand at 3, let's just say you stand at 3.
So it's close to a 2-hour project.
We are going to drive to Blower listening.
And are they features?
Like 1 or 2.
That you or someone we may know may like?
No, the features.
Yes.
Features, or not that I may like, as in the album has 2 or 3 features.
Yes. Out of those 2 or 3 features, are they artists that we can be like, okay, because this person has featured on this album, let me actually give it a try? No, not really. That becomes difficult.
45.
That is I. 45. When did it come out?
Last year. And he wants to drop a new one in August.
Are there any music videos? Again?
I'm sure. Yeah, on the 45?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a couple. Maybe 3, 4 that I might be wrong, but yeah.
Is he doing shows?
Not that I know.
Not that you know of. Yeah, 45 songs is a bit tough for a climate that can't afford to listen to music on that scale. Not even just from a time perspective, saying that I've got 2 hours to listen to it. But honest truth is, I don't know if I've got a gig at a time to dedicate to listening to music. That's just me. I'm not taking any shots at anyone, right? And everything we're discussing right now, like I guess that's where a lot of people are kind of like have to have the tough conversations.
Yeah.
Because
You gotta be honest with
Yeah,
yourself
gotta
as
be-
an artist. Where am I going? What am I doing?
yeah, so
Who's around me? Because look, for me, scandals are cheap gimmicks.
yes,
Because you get a scandal today,
you have to keep it up.
but you're a business. Mighty Movies is not going to come and invest in you whilst your name is being dragged all over
No,
the street.
they're not going to do that. Definitely not going to do that.
No.
But at the same time, also, is it an understanding of that now attention has become a currency? Because if attention has become a currency, how are you converting it?
But also, tell me, who's got the biggest hip-hop song in Africa right now?
KO.
What's his controversy?
No scandals. That I know of.
No, but I'm saying,
Yes. But that track he released yesterday,
they now...
it was him being honest about a situation that he felt some type of way.
Because there was conversation around.
Yes.
That he was like, okay, Yons are trying to say a span, let me
Yeah.
clear the air. But just in general, his image is literally clean.
Yes, and it also now goes down to image. Right?
So
image, branding, right? So this is the thing. Production, right, number one. I think we need to start from production.
Yeah, because some of the productions are
Yes.
nonsense.
Who are the 5 guys in the country right now who are known or are the go-to guys for mixing and mastering?
Rail, Tags, Tamuka, I'll put him there as well.
And maybe McD. Does McD still do it?
Yeah, McD is nice as well.
McD. So those are top 5 engineers. Not even engineers, but those are like, okay, yes,
that I know.
yes, that we know,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So how many other artists and teams know that these services are available?
Everyone knows. Rayo says it all the time. Guys, for all your mixing
Mixing
and
and
mastering,
mastering.
I'm here. And there's ads everywhere, online there. Because that's where most of these kids is at anyway.
And are the kids coming to him?
Okay, he did Natty Oz. He
Natty was another one.
He does a lot of excuse. He does a lot, but I don't think they are going there as much as they're supposed to
They're
go there for
supposed to.
that quality.
You see what? But also the 2 artists that you mentioned, these guys understand that where they're at now is because it's gone back down to the production.
As an artist, I think you need to know all that because your music is your business card.
Yes, it's your CV, but also Instagram is now your CV.
But Instagram doesn't give people the quality, the musical quality.
No, it doesn't give but that's what I'm saying, that now, do you want the Instagram likes or you want the streams? Because if you want the Instagram likes, then we can do stuff to create content. We can turn you into a content creator. We'll get you adverts on Dairy Board. You can be advertising
Milk.
there. No, we'll find 25 different ways, creative ways of advertising milk. That's now, this is now me as a manager.
And
you're a content creator?
And your 45 songs are sitting. No one is streaming.
You understand what I mean? But can we use those 45 songs to then tie up a deal with Dairy Board?
I don't know, man.
You see what I mean? So it's about number one. We need to, you see, and that's the thing. Like, I don't want to speak like this, like, and I know like there are a lot of artists that genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's like a knowledge thing. Like they genuinely don't know where to start. They don't know what to do because a lot of the things that they're seeing are just things that they see on their phones. So it looks easy. You know what I'm saying? Nasty C can afford to spend the day playing games on his phone, but they don't know that he's actually getting paid to do that.
And besides, he put himself in a position to sit there because he has done
the music. So it has to go down to the music. So the first thing we need to do is, number one, us guys as Zimbabwe, right? What are the top 5 venues we have that can accommodate 200 people, 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 5,000 people, 8,000 people? then you start doing it in tiers, right? So to get to 8,000, right? Let's go through these stages.
Let's do the 150.
Right?
The 500.
You're not going to get on Jacaranda Festival stage.
Oh, no.
Right? Because it needs to make sense for Jacaranda Fest to have you at that stage.
Catalog-wise.
Exactly.
Catalog-wise and music that people can vibe to, the person I can put up there was Asa.
Yeah. So, and he did Unplugged, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did
And
Unplugged. And performed. I believe he did with a live band. Was it a live band?
Might be.
Yeah, so even in that...
I think it's Shabak.
Yeah, so even in that alone, you can see that there's a production that went into it to give a live show. So, if we're starting at the 200 people, let's not even say 200, because maybe that's too much, right? Let's start at 80. If we can get 80 people...
But confirm you're a rapper, and you're bragging that your Instagram and Twitter feed has, for instance, 1.2.
Yeah, but with 1.2 million followers, at some point you need to convert.
That's what I'm saying. That if you have those numbers, aren't you, just to get 200 people in one space, you should be able to.
That's what I'm saying. So those are the things we need to now start looking at, where it's like, okay, guys, for example, let's say we don't actually have guys who are willing to book us for gigs because, number one, they just don't understand our music, right? It's not even a money thing or whatever.
Just understand.
It's a new market altogether, right? Prince Edward High School's got a gymnasium, right? They've got a facility that is safe as well. You can get on the combi, you drop off, you can walk. It's accessible.
Central.
It's central, right? I'm just giving this as an example. Please don't steal my IP. The next thing someone does it, if someone
Let's go do it.
If someone needs to do it, please call me. But I'm just giving you an example. We've got Prince Edward High School. Not even Prince Edward High School. We can even start with Girls High School.
Listen, there's theater in the park.
Yes. Okay, theater in the park. Let's put it on the side. Yeah, let's put it on the side right now because I'm also talking from a safety perspective, right? As a parent, you want your kids to be able to go to a place. Remember, now we're dealing with a new market. Let's say we're dealing with 16 or even 14 to like 21.
So we're looking at artists.
So this is now, like we're now creating a new market altogether, right? So 14 years to 21 years, right? They've got a new, different way they consume music. They've got new artists that they like. They love this new music that they create that you and I are not going to be able to relate with because we grew up in a different time. We love instruments. We love melodies. We love sing-alongs. That's the era we grew up in, right? These guys have got a new way of making music. So even us guys...
I've been to a rave.
I've never been... I think I once did...
Is it called a rave or rage?
Rage in Durban, yes. I've been to I've been to a rage. You see, but even like with that, it's a controlled environment.
So confusing. Everyone is jumping up and down. But
So number one, right? You've got the market that's 14 to 16 years, right? Number one. Number two, markets, right? I'm not just talking hip hop alone, right? There's this side which is north of Samora and south of Samora. Right? Those are two totally different markets that consume music differently, right? So we're now putting you in a position where it's like, okay, guys, we're doing something. Do we even have a youth festival?
No.
Or any youth concerts that happen?
No.
So I remember back in my day, there used to be the Kotko Rugby Festival. Is that still a thing?
I think it changed its name. I don't know if it's still there, but yeah.
Sorry if there's a new sponsor.
It's like Dayboard or something. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. That I don't want people coming at me. But
and there were the after parties.
Exactly. See, but even with those ones, the way they were created, right? They were created in such a way that people could come, enjoy. Their parents would even come and pick them up, and then they'd go home. It's the same thing that Celebration did with the arena.
Yeah.
Right? Where they started off in an auditorium, then they ended up expanding into doing these shows. And I remember there's a show that they did at the Semblevy Village, which was kind of like a free show as well. But they'd also kind of like developed it over time. So anything that happens needs to start from grassroots. We can't skip that stage.
So now we are rewinding time. We have to go back.
Yes. We're now going back. No matter what stage of your career you're at, there's development and there's adjustment that needs to happen.
But
because
with egos, with
that's and that's what I'm saying. That's now something that people have to look at and say, are we willing to deal with this? And if not, right, let's rather leave it alone because no one wants to waste their time.
you know where's the easiest? I think where's the easiest trend who can do that easily? A person like Volts JT.
Yes, I've also.
He's a UZ kid.
Yeah, even
So
the user.
he can go back and have a show that UZ.
You see what I mean?
Man, that thing will be packed.
That's the thing. That's the first. So development, right? We've created this new market where all of us have even understood. Even if they had to come to us and say, guys, as a station, as a production company, as a security company, as this is what we want to do. Right? We want to create something for the youth that is for the youth. And even with the way we're setting this thing up, it's not for them to stay. So this level of guys that we're talking about now, they have to now go to the next phase. So we know that each one, it's in the calendar year, also depending on how often you're releasing and whatnot. But you're not going to be doing this youth festival every single year for the next 5 years. You now need to graduate with your audience.
You have to go
right?
to the next level.
So, development, adjusting. So even with us guys, it's adjusting and saying, okay guys, with this new market that's there, with this new talent that's there, right? What support can we give them? If these guys are not listening to radio, let's say for example, or they're watching TV, right? Or even the TV they're watching are these channels that are based in South Africa, which either number one is very difficult for the guys who want to get their videos on, because they just also don't understand some of the production things that are needed. Not even how to get there. But sometimes I'll tell you this for a fact. A lot of videos are rejected, not because the music is not good,
the quality.
But it's about the quality and how it's shot, how it's edited. Like they've got every channel's got a certain taste.
Every
channel. So you can't just be shooting all the time. Just do one song and just shoot and expect. No. You need to understand that, okay, if this is my market, right? MTV base, they're now more into dance, they love more amapiano, they love house music. You know, Trace Africa is a bit more, yes, on the Afro beat, they still play your piano, they'll still play your hip hop. You know, they vary. Channel O is a totally different animal on its own because that operation has been running for a longer time. So they understand that their core audience are South Africans. And they also do events around that. So not only are they supporting the artist, but they also catering to the fan base that they have as viewers. So when it comes to now buying power, these guys are able to exchange dollars because they know that if Channel O is doing an event, even if they don't tell me who's on the lineup, I'm not going to bang.
It's going to be fire.
Exactly. So with us guys now, back to 80, 100, 200 people. Who amongst the three of us, four of us, right? Whether it's going to be your 50 people, my 50 people, your 50 people, your 50 people. We've got 300,000 Instagram followers, right? I can tell you that with those 350,000 Instagram followers, every picture you post, they don't see it. Yeah, things have changed now. This has become very easy. You can be posting stories or whatever. It's swipe. If something I see catches my attention, then I'll get onto it. Then there's another market that listens to music on their way to school, when they're in their parents' car,
And
when they're coming back, or they've got a sports day on a Saturday, and they're going to play cricket, whatever, right? That's the time they get to listen to radio. And even when they do get into their cars, the first question they ask is, hey, can you please put on this channel? Because this is my favorite channel, right? So also the artist being able to kind of like communicate, because back then there was an excitement of, my song is actually on radio. Like it meant something. It actually meant something. My song is on TV. I remember being like premieres, like if someone was doing a premiere on MTV base, like my video is coming on at 7 in the morning, at 11, at 2, at 5, and at 7. And the whole week we're pushing so that you catch it first. Then it can go to whatever platform. That excitement genuinely from this new generation, I don't believe is there, right? So with your likes of TikTok, what can we do around that platform to then spread the message? If you like creating content, then let's create content around what you're doing that is also allowing people to then see that they can also be a part of this. So if it's a TikTok challenge, okay, sharp. Right? That's dope. But it needs to then also progress into something else. Right? So there needs to be the hunger for it. And until that hunger is there, right, it's going to be very difficult. Because when there's, and when I speak of hunger, there's like hunger in different forms. There are people who genuinely don't have like food in their fridge. Not because of anything they've done, but we're living in hard times.
There's some more hunger for fame,
Exactly.
So if someone was hungry for fame, is
right? But I'll tell you that I know producers, right, that I also used to work with back in the day, who knew that, my job here is to produce 10 to 15 songs a week. Because when that opportunity then comes for you to sit in the studio with Wizkid,
you
can't start now making something.
Nah, you gotta press play.
You know what I'm saying? I know guys who physically sit down and look at their craft like, this is what I do. I am a hit machine. Every day I wake up, I'm like, what kind of #1 song am I making? Right? So as an artist, if that hunger is there, you're definitely going to put more effort.
It's your job. It's gotta be there.
It has to become a job. So until people start understanding and seeing how that job pays, it's going to be very wishy-washy for a long time. And we need the support also of the organizations.
So
that's the other thing we need to do. I don't even know who the head of Zimura is.
No.
And what programs have been put in place to develop guys. I don't even know how guys are earning royalties here. So people will be like, I'm not going to put my song on radio because at the end of the day, I'm not even going to get a cent from it. Not because they don't want the money. They don't understand how that process works. So if someone is to sit down with them and say, listen, Hollywood P, us guys as an organization is to make sure that we collect your monies from radio. But in order for us to do it, we need to, number one, have the music you've submitted. Number two, we need the actual metadata, which is the information, right? And number three, once we've collected, we're able to then pay you out because we're monitoring. So right now, I don't even know if there's proper monitoring that's happening.
To their defense, though, I did a show with...
I was just giving an example.
A lady came and then, because I was like, you need to break it down. And then she broke it down, come register, yada, 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 yada.
So now there's an understanding around it.
Well, we don't know how many people listen. But I'm just saying, I can only do as much as I can.
I know, there's only so much we can do, but it's...
But it also boils down to the artist. Because now, some of these artists, most of them, they want to be hot for the week.
Yeah, but what does being hot mean?
Being spoken about on Instagram, Facebook, GG.
And then what?
And then,
or maybe it's just because we old now, so that stuff doesn't bother us anymore.
And then put out 45 records, I don't know.
I'm actually going to listen to the project while I'm here. But... but I think at the end of the day, guys, we need to be, and I don't even want to use the word serious.
No, we need to be serious.
No, I'm looking for an even more vulgar word.
Oh, okay. There's another stronger one.
Yes,
if you can find one, please, we'll put it down on the screen.
How we,
understand it's a business, basically. You are a business. And a business has so many departments that each office has to have someone.
Yes.
So if you are the artist, your job is to make the hit records. Don't expect the guy who's in marketing to come and make the hit record.
No, that's not going to happen. So if you understand what your role is and you understand how... You see, that's the thing as well, where we need to educate people a lot more on the good side of the music business.
There's also good side.
Yeah, because it's a double-edged sword, right? There's also the aspect that the record labels have come in, right? And I'm now speaking from a worldwide sense, because this is what they're being exposed to, right? There's a record label that comes in, and then artists obviously don't understand how the agreements and all that kind of stuff works. So at the end of the day, they left sour, right? Which is another conversation on its own. We can actually sit down and talk about that for hours, right? So what these guys are being exposed to is making them draw back from a lot of things. Because there's nothing that's this is nice. I want that, right? So if I'm to see Davido or Burna Boy putting, riding their Lamborghinis in Lagos. That's all I'm seeing. But they're not understanding that Burna Boy is doing 2-3 shows a week in different countries. That means that man has to be fit. You know what I'm saying? There's now health issues that are involved. Because there's no way you're just going to be doing shows like that without some sort of regiment and dedication.
Did you see
that's being put together?
Did you see the Beyonce date?
Yeah. But that's a world I'm not even going to tap into. But even like with the South African guys, right? It's something that I'm also seeing that there needs to be a lot more dedication to it. Because with dedication, right, like the hard work, like the aspect of hard work, like we need to go back to that point where guys need to understand that, listen, in order for you to get the gold, you have to get dirty. And until you're willing to get dirty, you're not going to get no gold. Because the only way you're going to be able to get the gold once it's processed is if you're willing to buy. But for you to buy, you need the money. You get it? But you still need to work to get the money. So either way, you can't escape the hard work that needs to go into it. Then from there now, it's actually understanding and breaking down what that hard work is. So even as a manager, I don't even know if there are guys who've got A&Rs here who are demanding, saying, guys, you said you want to release a project. Out of the project, you want to release 15 tracks. Out of the 15 tracks, we need 50. Then from this, the selection process starts. Not this, you just deliver 15 and that's it.
No.
Now, because if I'm not even going to consume it and enjoy it, I'm not going to put effort into marketing and put it on platforms because I don't even believe that it's something that people are going to be excited about. And when there's no excitement, there's no progress. There's going to be no progress. So we need to get back to the basic fundamentals. And I think if there's anything that I'm going to leave just from our chats today, is that yes, we have to have the honest conversations. They're going to be painful. People who are doing stuff, and I commend the guys that are actually doing stuff because we also have people with a lot of Twitter fingers.
Of course.
Yeah. So the guys who are actually like shooting 5 videos, you know what I'm saying? Like I respect that because shooting 5 videos means that there's some sort of plan that went into that and there were actual funds that were spent. It wasn't just shot on a cell phone and then some guy decided to do whatever. So that's number 1. Number 2, if my boy is going into the studio and producing 45 songs, that shows me already that there's a work rate that's there, right? There's a work rate that's because 45 records is not a joke, right?
It's a lot.
It's a lot of songs. It's now just an issue of how do we make these 45 records work that work for everyone, not just the artist, because it's very difficult. And I'm speaking now as an old man. It's very difficult to sit down and consume music like that. But also there might be a market that actually enjoys things like that. But if we're now going to convert it to the business side, let's take these 45 records, right? Let's break them down. Let's put them into our plan so that you as the artist as well don't feel like I've released music and now people are not consuming it and now it's easy to blame people. Because there's also that thing that then comes in. There's nothing worse than working on something that hard and then people don't accept it. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be like their fault. And I'm not saying that's the case here, right?
Already.
That's another story. But that in itself, that let's actually, like we need to get to a position where...
Let's be serious.
Yeah, the left hand knows what the right hand is doing.
The last album that dropped that you're excited about? Not any from anywhere.
From anywhere?
From anywhere. The last hip-hop album
I was actually playing it on my way here.
It dropped?
Yes.
Okay, because you have a tendency of playing music.
Sorry, I was about to say that I can't talk about the actual album because it's about to drop, right? But the album that I was listening to on my way here, that I actually went back and I was like, wow, this is such an amazing body of work. I actually listened to 2 albums. I listened to Shasha's project.
Okay.
Right?
Wait, this last one?
Yes, this last one. I listened to it and I was like, man, sonically she's evolved. Like music-wise, and I understand that it's going to take time for people to catch on because this is now an international project. Like I actually understand the direction in which she's going because sonically Like this stuff is going to be consumed in
Everywhere.
Spain, Portugal, Ibiza, anywhere you can think about.
And the
it's
second
going to
one?
be consumed. The second one was Flame.
That's a dope album.
Flame. Jamenda 2.
That's a dope
I'm
album.
looking forward to the second release of his video. He dropped one 2 days ago. I believe there's another one that's coming, and I believe that there's a lot more work that's coming from him. But locally, though, I think I'm really enjoying Sun. Right, I'm really enjoying Sun. I love the direction that he's taken, and I think another person I'm really excited to hear from. I know he dropped a single last year, but I know that when a body of work comes, it's going to be fire. Denim Woods.
Oh, okay. That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Denim Woods. So guys, please don't shoot me. Don't look for me. Don't come in my DMs.
Your handle?
At Blahtee, BLAHTEE. Yeah, the music encyclopedia. That's where.
Yeah, when you find him, shoot him. He's too honest.
You won't catch me.
He was just being honest.
Yeah. So, but like I said,
Be serious.